Alright guys, late workout today. Later than usual, it's 7 o'clock. Probably won't get to the gym until 7:20. I did chest and tricep yesterday. Today I'm hitting back and buys. So that's going to be fun. That's a good day. And with 531, I haven't really been able to focus on back as much. Considering just how it's scheduled. So this is just going to be blasting my back for the first time in a while. Doing barbell rows as the first movement. I really don't even know the last time I've done those, so I'm looking forward to that because honestly barbell rows are one of my favorite exercises ever and I haven't been doing them. We'll see how the weight is for that, see how my form is, all that good stuff. For my pre-workout, I already took my MedRx, 1 scoop of that and half a scoop of Pump Igniter, so I'm pretty well caffeinated. In terms of nutrition, I got my Gatorade, scoop of powdered Gatorade, ready to go for my intra workout. In terms of food, I have a MedRx Big 100 Colossal Bar. You can eat that whole thing. I think it's got 32 grams of protein, 400 calories. It's a little fattening, and there's some simple sugars there for carbohydrates, but not a big deal. And honestly, Gatorade's simple sugars too. It's dextrose. So as long as it's not your primary form of carbohydrate, or source I should say, simple sugars being your primary form, then you're doing fine. And anyway, if it fits your macros, it fits your fucking macros. Okay, so the warm-up sets weren't pictured, but I warmed up with the bar, then 95 pounds and 135, and here I am doing 185 for a set of 5. And for this routine that I'm running, for the heavy compound movement of the day, here it's barbell rows. I'm doing sets of 3 to 5. Now here's 225. And I'm a little too upright for my own taste. I didn't realize how upright I was for barbell rows, but considering my herniated disc, it's just safer for me to do it this way. Not trying to make excuses, but I'd rather not throw out my back and still be able to get a good stretch in the muscle. And you'll see with the dumbbell rows I do after this, I do have good form for them because I'm able to have support. So that was 245. And now here I am working with 265, and I'm going to do a drop set. So 265 to 225 to 135. I barely squeezed out 4 reps there. As you can tell, I'm using wrist straps. I rarely use them. I only use them for barbell rows, dumbbell rows, and barbell and dumbbell shrugs. I prefer not to use them because I want to work on my grip strength as much as possible, and that really carries over with deadlift. Any equipment in general, guys, you want to use as least as possible. For instance, a weightlifting belt. You only want to use it for your heaviest sets only when it's necessary. Otherwise, you want to be working on your core because you don't want it to become a muscular imbalance. Okay, I'm taking up the 45s now, so going from 225 to 135, still doing that drop set. I don't do drop sets too often. I did them on this particular day because I wanted to work on my form and I wanted to get a nice burn in my muscles because I felt like my form wasn't completely there for the heavier weights. So I still wanted to make sure I was working my back and working on my form so it can get better with the heavier weight. And even this 135, after doing those 2 other sets of 265, 225, it feels heavy at this point. I think I only squeezed out 11 reps on this set. Moving on to dumbbell rows. Here I am doing 75. And as you can see, for the dumbbell row, I have a lot more support because I'm able to balance myself, put my shin against the dumbbell rack and my hand against the dumbbell rack for support. And moving on to the right side. Differing from the barbell row, where I was trying to focus on strength, I'm focusing on hypertrophy here for this movement. So I'm trying to do sets of 6 to 12. Heavier weight, I'm using the 90s. I'm staying really stable here. My form is pretty good. All I'm using is my back. I'm not really swinging. So I might be struggling with the weight, but I'm having quality reps. And for whatever reason, whenever you do unilateral movements, unilateral meaning one side at one time, as opposed to bilateral, barbell rows are bilateral, My right side is a lot stronger when it comes to pulling movements. So my left struggles, and my right side tends to be faster, and I tend to be able to do an extra rep or two if need be. Really struggling with the hundreds here. It's a grind. But I'm still maintaining my form, not swinging at all, most importantly. You can see I have a lot more speed on the right side for whatever reason. Now I'm slowing down a little bit, but I'm still grinding it out. And yet, after these heavy barbell rows and dumbbell rows, I'm going to keep pushing it, moving on to weighted pull-ups. Got my brute belt holding my 25-pound plate in between. The barbell row and the dumbbell row are horizontal pulling movements. So the pull-up is complementing those horizontal pulling movements as it is a vertical pulling movement. Really want to make sure I'm working those lats because they're a lagging point for me. I have a strong middle and lower back, but those lats need to come out. Try my luck with a 45-pound plate. Now, I've done this before. I can probably rep it out for 10 reps, but that's at the beginning of a workout. I'm not fresh, so I think I only grinded out a couple reps here. Now, when it comes to pull-ups, or lat pull-downs for that matter, you don't necessarily have to get your chin over the bar. It's that it goes over your wrist, so you get that full range of motion. You don't need to really go any further than that. I got 4 clean reps, and I almost got a 5th one. Give myself 4.5 for that. Moving on to weighted shrugs. I'm starting off with no wrist straps, training my grip, and I'm just warming up here. And now for this, I'm training for strength. I'm only doing sets of 5. Here I am with 315. Really working on my traps. Now this is 365. Really squeezing on the way up. I'm trying to hold it. But it's pretty hard to hold that heavy amount of weight all the way up at full lockout. Coming up next is the burn set. And by the burn set, I mean, for this program I'm doing, the power building program, you do a set that you can do for 15 to 20 reps. And after you do 15 to 20 reps, you stop and you rest for about 10, 20, 30 seconds maximum. And then you keep going, continuing with it until you can hit 40 repetitions. And once you can hit over 20 reps on the first set, then you should move up in weight. And for this, I didn't hit even 15 reps on the first set, so I realized I need to drop the weight and then keep going. So I'm going to get a little more rest time, but that's okay. As long as I'm putting the work in, that's all that matters. Spinning the weights looks cool and all, but really what I was doing is bringing the barbell back to my wrists, and now I'm adjusting my wrist wraps as I go down. Because at this point of the workout, I need wrist wraps even for a light amount of weight because I'm pretty exhausted with my grip, and plus when I'm trying to rep it out, all I want to worry about is taxing my muscle, not necessarily my grip. You don't need to use heavy weights to necessarily work hard and make gains. I think all this is 135. And I'm struggling. I think there I only took a couple second rest. It might have been 5 seconds, and I'm just going to keep pushing it. That's what you got to do for this. That's how it should look. I turned this into a drop set only because I had to. Yeah, I think I only took a 2 or 3 second rest in between. Not even 5 seconds. And that's how it's done. Alright, just finished the back and traps workout. So here's a post-workout meal. Got some chicken for that protein. Got some asparagus for those micronutrients. And a dinner roll for my main carbohydrate source. So protein, carbs, and micronutrients. And of course, they all have a bit of everything. But that's the basis of it all. And a bit of butter on the roll for some fats. Alright, hope you enjoyed the video. This is Kenny Cummings of Kenny Cummings Fitness, and I'm out.